Ladies and gentlemen, g'day, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Economics Mate, and this is World of Tanks Blitz. And in this discussion today, we're going to be talking about medium tanks. Specifically, one medium tank that I think deserves the amount of love that it really does need. Now, in recent times, we've had various different medium tanks having buffs and nerfs, and just some tanks that really don't deserve to be buffed and are just overcooked. For instance, like the E50M. This thing truly is overcooked. It's been overcooked for quite a while now, and I don't see Wargaming nerfing it anytime soon. Preferably, I like to play the M48 pattern a little bit more than I do the E50M, despite the fact that the E50M is just a bit stronger. But the M48 pattern is stupidly amazing. It really is. Just like the E50M. The Kampfpanzer 50T, as much as I don't like to admit it, it is pretty good as well. The T-22 medium is another example of a Russian tank that really is cooked. It's very, very good. It's got very troll armor and great DPM. The T-62A, on the other hand, unfortunately has lost its touch. It is one of the worst medium tanks at T10 at the moment. It's just sort of average. It's not really good anymore when there's so much more you can play. The Object 140 is a better tank to play than the T-62A now. The 907, a fantastic tank as well, another great medium tank. The 121B is essentially the T-62A right now. This is the T-62A of this current meta. Of course, we can't forget about the TVP. This is also a fantastic tank. So you get the idea. These medium tanks are great. Of course, we can't forget about the CS63 and, of course, the Leopard 1. But one tank that was better than all of these at one point in time was the STB-1. The STB-1 truly was the top dog at T10 in terms of medium tanks. It was such a good medium tank. It was amazing. It was basically a Leopard 1 with armor. That was the difference. It took the recipe that the Leopard 1 had: amazing accuracy, amazing DPM, amazing mobility, amazing spotting, amazing camouflage, amazing pen, and it made it, basically coupled it with armor. That's what it had, and that was what made that tank stupidly strong. And as a result, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else in between, the STB-1 became the best medium tank at T10 in my opinion. And then Wargaming decided to nerf it and buff the other medium tanks for some odd reason, and now the E50M is just absolutely cooked. It's ridiculous. But the saving grace, and my good friend and a fellow community contributor, Mr. Trapmelon, has sent me a replay that I think is going to showcase just how good the STB-1 still is in this current meta. So ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in, because we're going to break down his replay and showcase the absolute master which Trapmelon is. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right in it. Here is Trapmelon playing in his STB-1 on Lagoon. It is quite an interesting matchup. The enemy team consists of a FV215B183, a Jaegeru, which I famously say is the worst tank at T10, and I stand by that claim. The Rinoceronte, which is a very good heavy tank, mind you. The Sheridan, the T22 medium, the VK9001P, and of course the WZ1115A. It's going to be interesting to see what Trapmelon does. Now, I'm going to wait a bit before I break down what the team is doing and why certain players on his team are moving towards, well, this area of the map, for instance. Let us pause the video right here. I'm going to have a look here. Right, so we have the FV215B183, both FV215B183s look like they are moving with the heavy tanks, the Super Conqueror and the M6Yo. There's only 2 heavy tanks on his team, whereas there's going to be 3 on the other team. The Jaegeru has decided to move with Trapmelon. Of course, our Batchat is engaging with that Sheridan. So it's going to be interesting to see this positioning in which Trapmelon is going to be taking. Curious to know where he's going to go on this map. So, well, okay. So clearly he's making his way to this little section here where he can use his gun depression. And there you go. There is the T22 medium. He manages to get a shot. I wasn't expecting that. That was one hell of a shot there that connected. Very nice shot into the lower plate there. But again, basically a no-scope shot into that T22 medium is pretty damn impressive if you ask me, which just goes to show just how good this STB can be. Now, Trap is doing a very good thing here. He's trying to reset his camouflage, and obviously he tried to trick the enemy team into thinking that he was still in that bush without letting him know. That's a good trick that you can do, where you can pretend to move away and then pretend to move back, so when they still can see you technically while you're spotted, it makes them think that you have gone back to the same position, but in reality, you've actually repositioned yourself somewhere else. Now, I believe the Jaegeru and the E100 are both, or the WZ115A, sorry, are capping the base, but of course he resets the cap base, which is exactly what you should be doing. That Jaegeru does miss that shot. Nice 413 alpha shot into the Jaegeru's lower plates. Very nice indeed. Nice shot into the WZ115A. Can he get another shot into the Jaegeru? Yes, he can. I'm going to pause it there. Let's have a look at this positioning right now. Okay, let's have a look at this positioning. You have the Jaegeru in the cap circle. The WZ115A has decided to move away from there. The enemy Rinoceronte is up there on the hill. And the T22 medium are the only tanks that are spotted. There's only 4 tanks that are spotted, which means there are still another 2 tanks that are yet to be accounted for. Makes you wonder where these tanks are, right? Well, our Super Conqueror is basically on a one-shot. Our FV215B183 has decided to push way too up there alongside the other FV, and it looks like our M60 has decided to stay in that position for some reason. However, if you notice, our Batchation has been killed, and the Jaegeru is the only one that is currently there. So it's interesting to see what Trap is going to do in this situation and how he can carry his team, because it feels like his team is probably going to be depleted pretty quickly. Let's have a look. Let's see what is going to happen. The positioning he's taken here is fantastic. Using that ridge line, using the hill, and baiting the Jaegeru to try and shoot without fully aiming in. That's what you can do with a tank like this. Hitting the upper plate, beautiful 413 alpha shot there. The Jaegeru misses once again because that's what you can do. Switch to the premium AP. Of course, you bounce your shot. Can he shoot? Can he shoot? Yes, he can. Beautiful. Waiting for the WZ115A to expose his weakness or his weak armor before switching to the standard rounds, because that's what you want to do. I'm surprised that he got an 800 alpha bounce from the Jaegeru. He's going to get this shot. Yes, he does. Beautiful. Beautiful shot there on the top of the top of the superstructure. So yeah, he's on 1 kill. 3,200 damage, and more to come. Nice shot there. He's angling, wiggling, and jiggling as he's going. The Rinoceronte is not interested in him for some reason. Gets a nice shot there. He knows he can pen with HE, and it's a very good point. Going to shoot him in the back of the turret. Nice, 381 damage. It's up to 4,200 damage. Is he going to finish off the Rhino? Okay, whoa, he got a shot there from the VK. He's going to have to move around. The Rhino gets another shot into him. He's in a bit of a pickle here, but luckily enough, he noticed the Jaegeru was going to support him. Gets a nice shot into the VK9001P. He needs to watch out for that tank destroyer that's moving towards his back there. The FV is going to be a bit of a problem if he gets behind him, but of course, the VK doesn't want to take any notice of Trapmelon. Interestingly enough, the Jagdpanzer does kill the WZ115A, which is a great thing there. I thought his team was going to perform badly, but it turns out his team actually worked well as a team. Fair enough. All right, can he get that last shot in? Yes, he can. He's getting a little bit more damage, I reckon. Come on, Trappy, I know you can do some more damage. Seeing as he knows that the M60 is going to clear that VK, he wasn't going to wait for another shot. Can he get one more shot in, one more kill? Yes, he can. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there you go. That's 6,983 damage, I believe, and 2 kills. Very nice indeed. Is it 2 or 3 kills? Let's have a look. Yep, 6,983 damage, 2 kills. Is that an ace mastery? Of course, it's an ace mastery. Come on, why wouldn't it be an ace mastery? He also got the Confederate badge, he got the high caliber, and he got the defender, which is fantastic indeed. Smashed the leaderboard for his team and everyone else. So good on you there, Mr. Trapmelon. And you really showcased the strength of the STB1. You showcased that the STB1 can still be the top dog medium tank if played correctly. Now, of course, it's not going to be as strong as something like, oh my god, I got another gift? What's going on here? What is going on? I got another gift? Okay, cool. Yeah, that Rayla gave me a gift, which I really appreciate. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate that gift, by the way. Amazing. Thank you so much. Basically, they gave me the IS-2 Pravda, which is one of the tanks I was missing from the Girls on Panzer tanks. I basically have all the other ones beside the Firefly, but I was missing this one. So thank you so much to Rayla. I really, really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that to me, but you did anyway. So I appreciate that. So again, medium tanks at T10 have really come a long way. They really have. I mean, it went from being a heavy meta to being a tank destroyer meta to being the medium tank meta. It really is medium tanks' time to shine. It feels like going back to 2015, 2016 Blitz, when tanks like the Object 140 and the T62A were absolutely dominating in competition tournaments. They were seriously the top dog medium tanks back in the day. And now the Leopard, the CS63, the M48 Patton, the E50M, the 121B, the TVP 50 and 51, the T22 medium, the 907, the Kampfpanzer 50T, as much as I don't want to admit it. You're right, Mr. GrandMcLegend. These kind of tanks, they really do showcase just how good medium tanks can be, especially when played correctly. You need to use them to your advantage. You can't just simply say, yes, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to play, that's it. No, you need to use them to your advantage. Yes, they are fantastic tanks, statistically speaking, but you also need to know how to play medium tanks in order for them to perform properly. You can't just sit there and expect to do the damage that it's going to give you. It's not going to work. Like, for instance, this thing here, the E50M. You can't just sit in a bush or like push and you'll be able to do your damage. No, you have to make sure that you effectively use your armor, which means you need to wiggle and jiggle, side scrape, go hold down, face hug, all that shenanigans. You play it like you would an E75, for instance, but with a lot more mobility and way more DPM. That is the key. The STB1, you play it like you would a Leopard 1. You play it sneakily, but remember, you still have armor, which means you can use that to your advantage. I still think the Leopard 1 is better than the STB1 now, but there's no denying the STB1 still is an absolute beast, as we saw Mr. Trapmelon showcase for us there. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to let me know in the comments down below what you think of the STB1. Without further ado, look after yourselves, look after your friends and family, peace in the Middle East, and Eid Mubarak to every single Muslim out there who's watching this video. And for everyone that's not a Muslim, thank you for all the support over all these months and all these years. You guys have been awesome. And I'm going to, as a community contributor, I'm going to make sure that I make the game better. Okay? I'm going to try my best to help you guys provide feedback to Wargaming so they can improve their game inevitably. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and bye for now.